Welcome back. Whether it is a car accident or an accident at home or someone else's home or business, personal injury law can be very hard to understand. That's why I'm not a lawyer. That's why I'm so happy to welcome to the show this morning Jerry Von Gruben, an attorney with the legal team Lusk, Drasites Tolisano, PA. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me today.
Happy to have you here. Again, I'm not the lawyer, so I'm very interested to hear what you say, because again, I think this is, it can be kind of overwhelming and kind of hard to understand personal injury law. You kind of hear about it a lot. Let's talk about car accidents first, though, which I think is probably, I'd imagine that your phone is probably ringing a lot. It's a very common thing that people have to deal with.
It's probably the most common thing that comes up is car accidents. I'm sure everyone who drove to work today, I drove to work today and I saw at least 3 or 4 just on the way here, and it's pretty much every day.
Yeah. Well, and what is the first thing that you should do if you are involved in a car accident?
Well, of course, you want to make sure that everyone's, safety is protected and everyone's taken care of then. But nowadays, a lot of things that you want to, that people have, they have their cell phones in there. Once everyone's safe, it's a great time, if at all possible, take some pictures of the scene, because you want to protect, exactly what happened.
Okay. So what are we taking pictures of? Not only our car, but maybe the other car? Do you just, whatever you can?
Whatever you can. The scene, if there's any injuries, take pictures of those injuries. If there are, or the vehicles themselves, because questions will come up later.
What types of insurance coverage should drivers carry? And again, I think can be a very overwhelming thing as well, and maybe people set a policy up years ago and haven't changed it.
It is confusing, and they'll use a lot of different letters. They'll use PIP, they'll use BI, they'll use UM, but what I think, that's part of being prepared for the accident before it happens. A lot of people, well, what should I do when there's an accident? But really a lot of it is, what did you do beforehand? So what I do is I tell everyone, check your policies. There's one in there that's called UM. It stands for uninsured or underinsured motorist.
So UM is kind of the...
UM, because there are thousands and thousands of people that are driving around without any kind of coverage. And it's such a sad, sad thing. It makes me sad when I see people that get injured and there's no way to get the medical treatment that they need because the coverage isn't there. Well,
and we were talking about, even if you are late in making your payment for insurance, that's going to cause somebody to lose their insurance. If they're maybe a day or two late in payments, that's going to stop their insurance.
It sure would, and it's just a tragedy when that happens, and it's a tragedy upon a tragedy. So I encourage everyone, take a look at your policy. There's UM in there. I would tell everyone, have a 100, 300. Have 100,000 per person and 300 per accident. Most people don't have that, and God forbid it should ever come into play, but what's worse?
Well, and imagine you get those phone calls, because I think some people say, oh, we're never going to need that, but I'm sure you've been on the other end where people need that.
Well,
or unfortunate, that they didn't have it.
No one starts their day saying, I'm going to be in an accident today, but they can check their policies.
Well, what should you do? Let's say, because, with personal injury law, let's say if you're injured on someone else's property, let's move outside of the car, whether it be someone's home or a business. What do people need to remember there or keep in mind?
Well, your documentation's important. If you're a landlord, if you're a property owner, you should, from time to time, walk around and take a look at it. Make sure there's nothing out of the ordinary, nothing that would impose some sort of a danger. But on the other end of it, be careful. If you're walking somewhere, just pay attention. A lot of things can be prevented if you're just paying attention. But if something does happen, again, documentation is great. If you have a camera, take a picture of what it is that turned out to be dangerous on that.
So document. We have just about a minute left. You also wanted to address something with pet owners as well, which I think people need to be very careful of and know of.
Yes, pet owners. People always talk about their pets, like a member of a family, but just like your children, supervise your pets. A long time ago, it used to be a one-bite rule. If your dog bites someone, then there's one chance, but that's gone. If your dog bites someone, that's a strict liability, and you want to make sure that your pets are supervised and
or on a leash,
especially if there's small children around.
Yeah. Well, you have this great special offer you want to extend to people. Maybe, again, because this topic is so confusing, you maybe sometimes don't know where to turn. You guys are going to be offering some free consults to the first 10 callers, is that right?
That's right. People will have a lot of questions, and they do all day, every day, and it's great. So I encourage them to call
Questions about anything? I mean, what can people call about?
Anything. There's what I personally do is the personal injury part, but over at our firm, they'll handle just about any kind of legal question you might have.
So any legal question, those first 10 callers are going to be able to take advantage of that and get a free consult. And
That's right.
Knowledge is power, and I think that's so great that you're offering our viewers that.
Thank you.
Well, Jerry, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And certainly if you want to learn more about the law firm, just head to our website as well. We'll have more information there. Thank you. We look forward to having you guys back. Let's send it over to Steph.
We've got the golden ticket to Golden Fest. Up next, we're having fun with Fido by celebrating man's best friend. But first, a look at your Fox forecast and news headlines.